Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya. If this is your very first time here, sis. So today we're going to be doing a full review and try on and wear test of the new NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. So y'all know there is already a Soft Matte Complete Concealer, so we are going to be using that today as well, but today is all about the skin, sis. This is, I think, the first matte foundation that NARS has ever launched. It also has different packaging, says she is a little cheaper for the girls. So I wanted to make sure that I got on here to give you guys a full review and just kind of tell you and show you how she lasts throughout the day. We are also going to be talking about how to match your foundation to your shade, or how I do it. We're also going to be doing the eyes on camera, and it is using a new palette, so you know, I got you. Before we hop into it, please make sure that you hit subscribe below if you have not yet, so that you are updated when new videos come out. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell as well, so that you are updated when new videos go up. All right, y'all, let's hop into it. What's up, y'all? So we are about to dip into this new NARS foundation. Here is the PR box, which is super cute. It's just a really cute mirrored box. I love this box so much because you can take everything out of it and just use it like kind of as a jewelry box or to display. So yes, it's always a great thing when you get boxes like this that you can use for other things. They did send me 3 of what they think my shade might be, and then some of the soft matte concealers as well. So Macau is my usual shade, but they did have a masterclass that I got to be a part of where they kind of had the head makeup artist kind of like explaining some of the stuff, and they did say, and let me start to put on my primer while I'm talking, y'all know. I'm gonna use my all-nighter face primer, and y'all know I love this one, and it's very long lasting, especially since we are doing a wear test today. I know this works good, so we ain't trying nothing new. We're gonna go with what we know work. But yeah, what they did say is that they do think that the shades should translate, as far as if you know what your shade is, then you should have the same shade in this foundation, but it does tend to be slightly darker, I think is what they said, than your shade. I think they said darker, not lighter. I must be really excited to do this review because my brows ain't done. Lord help me, Jesus. Just dropped my brow product. Not even gonna acknowledge that, guys, because we already know the problems I'll be experiencing. So I'm gonna go ahead and rush through the brows. That is not our focus today, but y'all know I like to do it all with you anyway. Y'all know I've told you in the past that my brows are like super like square. And I've actually been thinking about like growing them out a little bit, just to like kind of see how they look, and if I want to like go for more of a bushy or natural brow. Y'all know that is not my thing. But hey, why not try something new? But I don't know, low-key, while I'm talking about this, I also don't want to do it, because then I'm not going to be able to make them thinner how I'm comfortable with it now. So that might not be a good idea. Let's just scratch the whole idea. I don't even know why I just said anything. It's not gonna work. Y'all know I just be talking and saying stuff that's on my mind. So our brows are done. Now we can hop into the foundation. Maya got all excited earlier. So like I said, they did send me 3 different shades. The lightest one being Macau, which is usually my shade. So we are going to shade match today. Even though I probably know Macau is my shade, but I'm just gonna show y'all how I come to that determination. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I believe that you should never match your foundation on your hand, because usually it's a different color than what's going on right here. You should never match foundation on your face, because you're about to cover your face up. You want to match your neck or your chest, because usually that's where you're not gonna put on makeup, and that's what's gonna be showing. So you kind of want to bring this whole color area right here upwards. So it don't matter if your face is 3 shades darker than down here, don't match your face, because then your face is still gonna be darker than this. You wanna make it lighter. And I know, like, in theory that sounds bad, like if you're dark, you're making yourself lighter. If you're light, you're making yourself darker. But I mean, we're going just to be the same shade, so it's really not about that. So you gotta not focus on that. You're just trying to be the same shade. So I usually will match right here. So I'll take a swatch of each foundation and I'll put it here, because my neck still, like if you see like right here in this whole area, I'm darker. And so what I want to do, oh yeah, I'm ashy again. I will take the shades and put them here to match this color, because if my chest is out, I want all this to be, you know, fluid and the same. So I'm gonna first take Macau, and I have already tried this foundation. That's why it's kind of got some stuff already out on it. But I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just going to swatch it in this area. So this is Macau. This is usually my shade, and NARS says it should be darker. I feel like it's slightly lighter than what I usually get with Macau, but I'm gonna blend it a little bit out so we can kind of see what we're getting and what it's going to look like. The next shade that they sent over is Mandas, and then the next shade that they sent over is Marquise. Okay, so these are our 3 shades. Do you kind of see why I usually go for Macau, which actually in this foundation, it looks like I possibly can go with this one right here, because it looks like it might be a better match than Macau. It looks like Macau in this formula is a little bit lighter, but can you see how this matches like this area of my neck? Whereas this one on the end matches more like this area. You know, we have discoloration, different colors, but what I think I'm probably gonna do is mix those two or just use this one. Obviously this one is too dark. Did we see that? I was seeing it. I feel like if I match this to my face or like this area right here, it possibly would have read as being the right color, but that's why we don't want to match like right on the face, because we can be misled, sis. Because then I have that color all right here and it's match my neck, but this little area right here would look way too light compared to my foundation, and that is what we're getting away from. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix these 2 shades in this particular formula. Now I went ahead and put it on my face as well. Obviously this is Macau. I kind of did it go backwards. So this is Macau and this is Marquise, and this one is the deeper one in the middle. Do you kind of see what I'm getting at? I feel like low-key you could think this middle one was my shade over the other 2, which kind of look too light up against my face, if that makes sense. So it's all about just making sure you're bringing this area upwards so that everything is the same versus putting it on your face. And you really don't want to do on your hand or on your arm, because that can be completely different than all of this. So I just kind of want to show you guys the difference between matching it down here and matching it up here. Whereas up here it doesn't look like we have a really good match, whereas down here we kind of look like we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, so I'm all out of makeup wipes, so I'm just gonna wipe this off with my micellar cleansing water on this pad, and we are going to get into foundation, and I'm going to obviously replace the primer that I just wiped off my face. Maya, what? I don't know why I just did this after I put on primer. Why didn't I just wait to put on primer? Girl, sis. All right, back to primer in this area alone. And then we're gonna go in with the foundation. So like I said, I am mixing those 2, so I'm gonna put them on the back of my hand. And they say you don't need a whole lot of this foundation in particular to like do your full face. And really quick, let's talk about the packaging, sis. So cute. NARS usually always comes in a glass bottle. This is not glass. This is very soft. It kind of follows the name of the foundation, soft matte. And it's cheaper than all the other NARS foundations. This one's only $40, sis. $40 for NARS foundation, girl. This was only like 2 little squirts of each foundation, and I'm mixing them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just dab it all over the face. And NARS usually has this thing that they like to put foundation on the face with their fingers, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how I feel about it, but I do it sometimes when I'm using their stuff. That's how they prefer it to be applied. So on this side, I am gonna focus more on doing it like that. I feel like I see the soft matte that's happening, and this foundation is actually drying down as I'm blending it out with my finger to a matte finish. You know, most of the time when you put on foundation, and at this point you'll be seeing a lot of sheen and stuff like that. I'm not seeing a lot of sheen, which I'm sure is the point of soft matte. So on the other side, I'm gonna take my blending brush to kind of stipple it out. They did say also in the masterclass that you don't necessarily need a a beauty blender to blend this out. Like the strength of a beauty blender to blend. You don't necessarily need it for this foundation. We're getting pretty much the same finish using the brush and the fingers, but I actually really like the fingers, how I just applied it. And I usually never put on foundation like that, usually only when I'm using NARS products. But so far, I have to say, I like it. Like I said, this is not a first impressions. I did wear this foundation last week. I know that I liked it then, but now, I don't know, when I did it, of course it wasn't with the goal of reviewing it and kind of giving you the specs on it, so I kind of just threw it on and wasn't really paying attention to it. So I'm really just now seeing like the finish and the texture of it and the drying down and stuff like that, and just paying more attention to it right now. I just know I like the finish of it. When I did use it last week, sis, she was cute. She was cute. My neck is dark, y'all already saw right there, so I am taking a little bit of Macau and bringing it down on the neck. I usually always do that because I do have that like dark line there on my neck. So before we go in with any more product or the concealer or anything, I just want to zoom in so you guys can kind of see the skin texture. So this is how we're looking. This is the foundation without any concealer, no powder, no nothing. It's supposedly, you don't need a whole lot of powder because it is already kind of self-setting, but sis, you need powder. I didn't say it, not a lot is what I said. Not at all. So we need our powder because we definitely want to set anything on the face. This is how she looking, sis. That's how we looking. It looks very skin-like, if that makes sense. It doesn't look like we just spackled a whole lot of foundation on the face. And I do like that. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm gonna go into the soft matte concealer with this just to finish off the look. And I'm not actually today, I'm probably not gonna do a whole lot of like contouring. I probably won't contour at all actually today, just because I want it to be really skin finish. I really want it to be very skin focused today for my foundation reviews. Y'all, I have not done a foundation skin review in quite some time, sis. Like this is probably my first one of the year, if we're being honest. Well, let me find me a concealer brush. I just washed my brushes, y'all, so they looking real clean, real sparkly. Give me a big concealer brush, big concealer brush. They did send me Amande, and this is my usual concealer shade. They also sent me Chestnut, which is a little bit lighter. Well, a lot lighter than Amande. They also sent over Truffle, which is more of a yellow tone. I like more of a neutral toned concealer, so we are gonna go for Amande. These concealers are not new. This is just the foundation launch to match the soft matte concealer. So I'm gonna take my brush and just start to conceal on the under eyes. And I have used this concealer before, and it is like thick, sis. She thick. So you really don't need a whole lot of this concealer because you really honestly spackle, sis. Spackle. So it's really just up to you of how much you actually want to use. But I'm just kind of gonna put it in all of our normal spots where I want to conceal as well as brighten up on the face. And I'm not gonna go too crazy on the forehead just because, especially since we're not going into a deeper shade on the top of the forehead. So this side I am gonna kind of blend it out with a brush, like a concealer blending brush. And then this side I'm gonna go into my sponge, and this one in particular is from OFRA. I'm liking the blend with the sponge better than the brush, so I'm just kind of gonna go over that side just for some continuity, sis. We need some continuity. And now this is how our skin is looking. So I went ahead and zoomed back in so you guys can see how the skin is looking now with the concealer. The concealer pretty much has kind of the same finish as the foundation. You know, soft and matte. It almost looks like we have set a little bit. We don't have that normal like dewy look with this, which is cool, but it's not like drying matte. You know how sometimes you put on like matte and then it dries down and you almost looking cakey, like you done put on some powder, a lot of powder. That's not the vibe that I'm getting from this. I'm getting just what they say, it's soft matte. I am going to go ahead and zoom on out. First of all, did y'all get a good look? Let's see. Skin, sis. She's giving you skin. So I am gonna go ahead with Amon just to kind of even everything out on the lids before I set the face. Just because y'all know I've told you, if you are doing your face first, definitely prime your eyes while your product is still kind of wet on your face, not after it's dry, because it could create like a line of demarcation here with the wet concealer and the dry under eye with the powder. So you always want to go in and do that before you go into set. That way this line right here can be blended out and you won't be having them problems. And y'all know for my foundation reviews, I like to make sure I'm using the exact same like products that I trust and not changing other things up, just because it really gives us an idea of what we can expect from the foundation or skin product that we're using. We are gonna go in and bronze a little bit after this, but I'm not gonna go into any other cream product besides just those two, so that we can really see how they perform later on. Cause I was just thinking this is a little light up here, but it's fine. It's fine. We're just going to use a powder bronzer to kind of give us a little more depth to the skin once we set. So I'm gonna go into my Laura Mercier, my good old faithful Laura Mercier powder. And I do have a medium deep powder sitting over in my sister's house, but unfortunately I'm not going over there to get it yet. So I would use that to set the whole face, but I'm just gonna go in with Laura Mercier translucent all over. So I just got rid of my creases. I'm gonna go into the powder, and I'm gonna actually take off a lot of this powder because this is a soft matte formula. I feel like we're not gonna need as much powder. I used way too much powder the other day when I did use this foundation and concealer together. So I was starting to feel a little crusty underneath the eyes, and I think that was because I used too much powder over matte products, you know? I did kind of dab this a little more than I usually do, and I'm just using the sponge on the areas where I do get oily, still with a lower amount of powder. And then I'm taking a, if I can find it, I'll take it. Then I'm taking more of a fluffier brush to set everywhere else. Since those areas don't get oily at all, we definitely, some even get dry. We definitely want to make sure that that is not like patted down with all types of crazy powders, sis. We just kind of want to set it to kind of keep it in place and let it not move, is what we're doing. And I'm gonna take a slight bit of the powder too on the sponge and put it over the eyes. So to kind of just bring some color back in, like I said, I'm gonna go into a bronzer. This is my Brighten and Bronze Complexion Trio from Alamar, and this one is in Dark Rich. And I'm gonna take this middle shade right here, which is Cinnamon Sugar, and I'm just going to kind of just add a little bit of a bronzer around the perimeter of the face, under the cheekbones, just to add, matter of fact, I'm gonna do one side versus the other side so you can see why this is necessary. Even though we're focusing on the foundation and concealer. You see what we just did with the bronzer? We kind of just made it a little deeper, more of a redder tone, more of a natural tone is what we did around here, whereas this side, it looks way more stark, a little less natural, because it's all kind of just like the same shade. Does that make sense? I'm gonna finish that off. And I'm also gonna go into it on the nose as well, just to kind of give us a little bit of shape to the nose, but very lightly. We are gonna pull out another PR product with this. So I'm gonna use the new Spanglish palette from Alamar Cosmetics. Y'all, look at this. Isn't this so cute? I just felt like I wanted to use something new. It did break in shipping, unfortunately. That always makes me very sad. Just gonna go in with a wash of some color on the eyes just to kind of add some interest. Y'all know I gotta do a little something. So in this palette, I'm gonna dip into the shade Muy Excited right here in the corner, which is this orange shade. And this is the first Alamar palette with a mirror, sis. Y'all know I ain't complaining about that. So I'm just gonna work this shade into the crease area, but I'm kind of gonna just make it very like washed out. I don't want it to be super like pigmented, because the eyes are not the star of the show today. It's the skin. But like I said, y'all know I gotta do a little something. Towards the edge, I'm just kind of dusting over it so that it kind of fades outwards, but I don't want to add like a lot of color where it's fading out. The color should be more there, but still, I don't want it to be that pigmented. All right, we're just gonna dust over that. And next to that shade, I'm gonna go into Pero Like, which is right here, which is like a shimmery type of orange color, and I'm just gonna press that on the lid with my finger all the way across the lid in short little motions. And when I'm blending this into like the crease color, I'm doing even shorter little movements and using like the tip of my finger that doesn't have all of that shade on it, just to help. Anything to help with blending is helpful. Stupid. And I love this shade. It does have like specks of like green shimmer. Yes. I love that. And I'm wiping off my blending brush that I use for the outer corner and kind of just like dusting over those to make sure that they are blending well. And we could wing this out and leave it like this, but is it really a Maya Galore look if I leave it like this? I feel like we gotta add a little something else. A little something. So let's see what we're gonna add. Let me experiment here for a moment. I'm going into Tienes Swing. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. I like this little pop of pink here in the middle of the shade. Oh, dipping into, like I said, Tienes Swing, and with my finger kind of going in between both orange shades just to kind of bring some interest into the eye. And don't mind the brush in my hand. I was gonna use the brush, then I changed my mind. So with a clean brush, I'm just dusting around this to make sure it's nice and seamless all the way around. I am gonna go ahead in with a wing liner. So I just felt like this look needed a wing, sis. She just needed a wing. I feel like especially how we had the eyeshadow kind of going up like that, I just feel like a wing was necessary. All right, glitter, anyone, before we go in with lashes? Anybody? Anybody? Do we have any takers? Y'all some haters, man. Y'all be tripping. Y'all don't let me do nothing fun. So I'm not adding glitter per se, but I am going in with this NARS Power Pigment just to kind of make this part of the eye just pop a little bit more. Sometimes y'all just gotta let a sister live, okay? Just let me live. Just let me live. Just a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna pop on my lashes. Okay, so I have a confession to make. After I turned off the camera, I added a little bit of this purple shade up here, just a little bit right over where I put Tienes Swing. It gave us an extra little pop of some color, and I like it. So I think this is going to be our look where I do not add a bottom color under the eye. I think that's today. We're just gonna go in with mascara because y'all know the rest of the face, we're kind of just wanting this to be more focused on the skin. We already did a little bit of a lot with the eyes. Mascara. I'm just gonna take my Buxom mascara, and I love this one because it is very spider-like is the effect that it gives you. And I'm just gonna use this NARS box, which is very convenient, to put on this mascara. I am gonna take my Laura Mercier Skin Illuminator, Face Illuminator, and this is in Indiscretion, because you guys know I've said before, I do like to wear these when I'm not trying to do too much with highlighter. It gives me a very subtle highlight feel, extremely subtle. So that's why I kind of want to go into this, since we are more focused on skin. I didn't want like a blinding highlight today. And lastly, for lips, I'm just gonna go into this ultra glossy lip from Colourpop. Nothing too exciting, just to kind of finish out the look and give us a complete makeup look. And that's it, y'all. I'm debating on if I want to go ahead and set the face with a spray. What y'all think? I mean, that's my normal thing that I do, but I kind of want to see how the makeup looks after not setting it. So this is what we finna do. Let's spray half the face. I never seen nobody do that. Let's do that. My normal setting spray that I use when I am just trying to, you know, make things last all day, which is my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Ooh, I kind of don't want to mess this up. Trying to think, how can I cover up this other side of my face without spraying it? Let's use the eyeshadow palette. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna spray this side. And then I'm just gonna push it into the skin per usual, what I always do. Because I do kind of just want to see how the soft matte keeps up during the day, as well as if it looks better with setting spray versus no setting spray, since it is a matte, soft matte formula, just to see how it does on the skin. And I did not even put highlighter on my, you know what, that's probably good. I was about to say I did not put highlighter here like I usually do, but since we are focusing on skin, maybe that was a good thing, a good mistake. That way we can kind of like see really what happens with the skin without having a highlighter in the way to kind of make it look more dewy and stuff like that. It is 2:56 p.m. I'm gonna come back 3 o'clock, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm gonna come back at 11. We're gonna give it 8 hours. And real quick, we're gonna scoot up so you can see what the skin is looking like now. All right, sis. Oh yeah, so she's giving you skin. I like it. I love the foundation. Loving it. Looks very smooth, looks very beautiful. I feel like to get this finish with any other foundations that's not necessarily matte or soft matte, you would have had to go in with a lot of powder. I do have some slight bits of specks like on my face from just the fallout of the eyeshadow. But besides that, I feel like the skin is looking really, really good. Like I said, I'll be back with you guys at 11 to show you what it's looking like after 8 hours, and just so we can wrap up this review, and I will give y'all my final thoughts. All right, babes, so we are back. It is 10:46 p.m. This is how we are looking, and excuse me, y'all, I'm so tired. I probably look really tired. I've also been drinking some wine, so my lips probably look purple. Anyway, sis, I tried to put on some lip gloss to kind of mask it, but I don't think it's working. I think it kind of made it worse. But anyway, this is our face after about 8 hours. I have not blotted. I have not done anything like that. And this is how we are looking. So I'm gonna zoom on in so y'all can see the teeth. These creases actually didn't show up till about an hour ago. I've been watching movies, been laughing, smiling a little bit, all that, enjoying myself. So it's really crazy that these actually just popped up. And to be completely honest, I feel like I just started to get oily like within the past 2 hours maybe. Most of our oil is like in the middle of the face, like I told you. This area doesn't really get very oily, so we still have a very soft matte look, but yeah, sis, this is what we got. I ain't mad at it for no touching up. But you know, with a really easy touch up, we can look way right back to normal. And I'm gonna do that for you guys just so that you can see how easy it is just to get back to how we were looking earlier. So even without putting any product on the sponge I used earlier, I'm not gonna blot around my oily areas, around my mouth, where my creases are, on the forehead, just where we get oily pretty much. And we are already looking so much better. Like, so much better. So it's like real easy just to like look back how you were. But please notice that we don't have a lot of creasing at all today on the under eye. So I'm happy about that. I'm gonna use just a little bit of powder just to like give us more of a matte look. But without even doing that, because that's what I do, is usually like take my sponge with me if I'm going somewhere to, you know, touch myself up. And I just do what I just showed you guys. But now I'm just kind of going in with the powder just in the middle of the face. And we back, honey. She back. We're gonna go ahead and wrap the video up. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review of this foundation. Let me know in the comments if you plan on getting this, if you are excited about a NARS foundation that's a little smidget more affordable. So if you like this video, please make sure that you give me a big thumbs up. Also make sure that you hit subscribe below if you have not yet, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.